Let's talk about the benefits and the downfalls of getting married young. So we know back in the G, way back in the G, like 1800s and the early 1900s, people used to get married at 15 and 14 and all of that kind of stuff, right? But we've progressed as a society. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. So I realized I talked about all of my baby mamas. I talked about my wife now. I talked about my ex-wife, but I never talked about my first marriage. So let me tell you a few things about that were, like I say, the good sides and the downfalls, right? In my opinion, and I could be wrong, but I think that there are no good sides to it. Now, I don't mean there weren't any good times or that it wasn't a good marriage or anything like that. I just mean that when you get married too young for different reasons and for whatever reason, it's just you don't have enough experience under your belt to fight with. You know what I'm saying? Because marriage is a fight. It's not a fight. It's work. You got to put in some work. Most married people can attest to that. Most married people will tell you that. Yeah, we've been together this long, but it ain't been no bed of roses all the time. It has its ups and downs and it's good and bad, right? So now let's get into it. When my first marriage, I was 22 and she was 18, right? And she just turned 18. I met her through my sister. They were a church family just like we were a church family, right? But we didn't go to the same church, but anyway. So I met her through my sister. I think she was just graduating high school or no, she hadn't graduated yet. She was about to graduate high school, but I was already out of school. And so um we started talking and whatever. All of that went on. But her mother was really strict, right? Cuz like I said, they were church people and it was her grandmother, her mother, her and two sisters. She had twin sisters. So um when we met, we started hanging out, going to the movies and stuff, but it was kind of hard to date. It was hard for us to date because her mother was so strict, and I guess because I was a little older and whatever. So then, picture I get my own apartment, and then it was like impossible to date because her mother knew that I had got my own apartment, and she just, I'm sure in her mind, she was like, "Oh no, y'all gonna be over there doing God knows what." You know what I'm saying? So I guess she felt like every time we say we was gonna go to the movies or go out somewhere, we was gonna be at my apartment, which wasn't the case, but that's what she felt or that's what she thought. Anyway, long story short, we dated, and um, and so one time, some kind of way, she got into it with her mother because the difference was her sisters, they were younger than her, but it seemed like she was more lenient on them than she was on her. Well, that's what she said all the time. She let them do whatever they want. They can go when they want and all of that kind of stuff, right? But that's what she always said. So anyway, they got into this whole big thing, and I was there. And the bottom line, this is what she said. Well, y'all might as well just go ahead on and get married because all of this and all of that and all of it, I can't remember the word, everything verbatim, but I do remember that part verbatim. Y'all might as well just go ahead on and get married. Now, I was into it. I'm not saying that I didn't want to marry her or I wouldn't have married her if it wouldn't have been that situation, but that was the situation. So when she said that, we were so into each other. We just want we okay, no problem, and we not thinking because we young. I'm 22. Even though at 22 we think we got it all together and we know all of this and we grown, and even though at 18 we think we grown and all of that kind of stuff, I just think it was too soon, too early, right? And I'm gonna tell you why I said that because I'm gonna give you some some stuff that happened, right? Anyway, move forward. We start planning a wedding. We had this big old wedding. I mean, a big ass wedding. You know what I'm saying? We paid for a lot of it, but her grandmother paid for some, her mama paid for, you know, but we paid some too. But anyway, this big old grand wedding. Um, then we get married, and did we move? I think I know we moved around. Sometimes we stayed with her mother. Sometimes we had our own place. I think the first was we had our own place, and then some kind of way something happened. We moved back in with her mother. Just different stuff like that, right? So we married, and then a few years go by, if that many. And my thing always was that you always want to be around your mom and them. You always want to be over there. You don't never want to be here. You know what I'm saying? She 18 years old, bro. What you expect? But that's what I mean about being young. Cause her being young and wanting to be around people she used to being around and living with and been with her whole life, and me not understanding that, being young and not understanding that. You see what I'm saying? So that was like the way our lives was starting to go. Cause I felt, let me just keep it 100. I felt neglected. I felt like all you want to do is be by your family. And they were a tight knit family. You know what I'm saying? All of them did hair. All of them did like fashion and stuff. They was into making clothes and doing hair and cooking, and they would always be together doing something. My family was close too, but once we, you know what I'm saying, once we grew up or got to that point, we started doing our own things or whatever. But that was my mentality on that. And that's what I mean by saying I think that's too young to get married or to be married. Because it's a lot you need to learn, in my opinion, before you do that. Because number one, you got to learn how to compromise. You got to learn how to put in work. You got to learn skills, partnership skills, and how to, you know what I'm saying, just all kind of stuff. That's just a few. You got a lot of shit to learn before, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, so that happened. So then keep moving forward. Then we decide to move to California. So we moved to California. And I said in another one of my videos, how I used to be so romantic and setting the mood and all of that kind of stuff. So picture we moved to California, but I go first, right? Because I didn't fly, so I took the train or the bus or whatever, go get a job and start working. Because my mother and my aunt was already there, so they already had a spot. So they say we could just come and help with the rent over there and just stay over there. So that's what we did. So I go first, I get a job, and then on the day she's supposed to come, where's she at? With my mom and them. She'd have missed a flight, all kind of shit. Now picture, I done got a room, even though we gonna be at my mama house or my mom and my aunt's place. I done went and got a room. I done bought these white roses, and I got candles set up. I got the whole setup. I got music ready. I got, all of these Kenny G CDs and all kind of just shit like that, right? And I done set the whole mood, bruh. She gonna be here tonight. She coming in on the plane and whatever. And the phone rang. I missed my plane and whoop de whoop de whoop. And I'm like, how you miss your plane? What you knew we've been waiting on this day for you to get on this plane and come on out of here. Cause for already it's already been we done been apart for a while already, right? So anyway, she missed the plane. I'm pissed off. I done went to the room and tore up the flower. I told y'all I got anger issues. Anyway, plus I was disappointed. You know what I'm saying? But I done went to the room and tore up the flowers and all kind of shit because I'm mad because here you go with your family again. You don't want to leave them. You could have just told me and just stay there with them. I'm mad. I'm pissed off. So that was the whole thing. But eventually she came and, you know, we made up. I let that go, whatever. And it just, once she got that, she was there. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember exactly what it was that was the last straw for us. But we never like, even when we separated, we never was like enemies or mad with each other. We kind of stayed friends, you know what I'm saying? But my whole point in saying everything that I'm saying is that we were just young. And that's what I say all the time about my my ex because we were young. My first ex-wife. We were just young. She wanted to be with her family a lot. I felt neglected a lot, which is the same time when I was saying that I did cheating. I did my cheating when, you know what I'm saying? That was the time when I cheated. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like she wasn't showing me no attention. Her family was more important, which, duh. I mean, now that I'm older, who don't understand that? On top of the fact that she was just 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? Or 19. Because it went on, because we stayed together for a while. And I think we stayed married for like 7 years or something like that. But it was not a constant struggle, but it was always a struggle. And I think for the most part, is that the struggle was because we were young. We didn't really have a whole lot of life experiences to gauge being married. You know what I'm saying? In order to be married, and it's not even to say that you're going to have a perfect marriage, but in order to be married, you have to know how to sacrifice. You have to know how to give, you know what I'm saying, and not always want to take. You have to know how to take no for an answer. You have to know how to put somebody above your feelings sometimes. All of that type of shit. And that's the hardest thing to do, especially for young folk. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to learn that concept as an old dude. I mean, I think I do pretty good with it. You know what I'm saying? Because there are times now when my wife will ask me to do something or go somewhere, and she know it. Whatever she asks me, most time I'm trying to do it, unless I just can't do it, and I'll say, "Babe, I just can't do that," and she'll understand that. But I'm saying all of that to say is, marriage is a lot. It's great, it's good, it has its ups, but it also has its downs. And the downside of it is um like my wife always says, sometimes she'll tell me, I don't like you right now. I know what she means. She love me, but I don't like you right now. You don't always like your person. You don't always agree with your person. You don't always feel like they need to do this, that, or the third. You don't always feel like you need to do this, that, and the third. But you know what I'm saying? It's compromise. It's sacrifice. It's a lot. It's work. You know what I'm saying? And just like the other video I made about sex and everything, that's a lot of, especially when you're young, that's a lot of the issue. Because let's just keep it 100. Back then, I was young and I wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it all the time. And now that I'm older, I understand that's not everybody. Everybody ain't into that. So that was another thing why I cheated, because I felt like she always telling me no, and then here somebody come and show me some attention, and this girl fine as wine, and she batting eyes at me, and boy, it was on and popping, which was wrong. So don't get that part twisted. I know that was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But like I always say, hindsight is always 2020. You can always look back and see a different outlook, of different version of what you saw then. You know what I'm saying? But that was like that, like I said, that was one of my biggest things. You know what I'm saying? Every time I ask her to do something she don't want to do, or every time I try to um make some advances, she ain't feeling it, or she don't want, she must don't love me. She must you bro, when you're young, those are the things that you say. That's the type of shit that be on your mind. She must don't love me. She don't care. She don't want to do nothing. She don't never want to do nothing. She always tired. She always this. She always that. But I ain't even looking at the side of it that I'm always quitting jobs. You know what I'm saying? I'll quit it, especially back then. I'm out this bitch. I ain't about to put up with that. That ain't good. That wasn't good. So in her mind, most time women are into security. If I'm always quitting a job, she don't know if I'm gonna quit and not be able to pay the bills or not be able to pay the rent and all of that kind of shit. So we don't look at that side of it too, because I played a big ass part in that. So I naturally she ain't gonna be uh interested every time I make advances on her. You know what I'm saying? This fool can't even keep a job. He don't want to do this. He don't want, you know. But moving past that, like I said, marriage is work. It's a job. You got to put in effort. You got to be selfless sometimes. It's a lot of things you got to do. And for an 18-year-old and a 22-year-old, I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it, because we haven't really came into who we are at that time. You know what I'm saying? We thought we did. And even now, the 18 and 20, even 25-year-olds now think they got it all together. And some might, because they could have been raised different, or they could have had different experiences in life. But for the most part, you don't know. You really don't know. You ain't there yet. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't be able to tell them that, just like you couldn't tell us that. But I think that was the reason why, because I know, number one, we were too young. Number two, I'm not saying we were forced in it, because she didn't force us to get married. But if y'all want to be, in other words, if y'all want to be running around doing whatever y'all want to be doing, if y'all want to be running around doing whatever y'all want to be doing, y'all gonna have to be married. And so we won't be married then, because that's what we trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't always that. It was just that we wanted to spend time together. But anyway, that's what happened. That's what happened with my first marriage, and being young. You know what I'm saying? Because the video is not just about my first marriage. It's about my opinion on being married so young. And that's what I think. Now, I can't sit here and say that if we weren't so young, we would still be together, because we had differences. You know what I'm saying? But being older, you learn how to work through those differences, and deal with those differences, because now you have shit to reference. You know what I'm saying? And maybe have something to even push forward for. You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't think I said it, but we didn't have any kids together. All of my kids came from later in life. We didn't have kids then. You see what I'm saying? So when we split, we didn't have a house. We didn't have children. We didn't have a whole lot to basically split up or to fall out behind. You know what I'm saying? When we split up, it was just her and it was just me. And so that's the way that went. So that's my opinion on being married so young and different stuff like that. Also, a look into why my first marriage didn't last or whatever. And that's all I got for you on that. I probably can go on, but I won't. But y'all be easy and we'll see you in the next one. One love.